The second part I will talk about is recruiting. Bill Gates is the driving force for Microsoft, and since he started the company, he believed in recruiting very intelligent people, which he preferred intelligence over experience. Gates wanted to hire not necessarily experienced, but new college graduates. He and co-founder Paul Allen recruited the brightest people they knew from school, which was the smartest kids and their smartest friends. Gates realizes that his employees were his greatest assets, and he would always give them credit for the job they would do. Microsoft recruitment strategies reflect their philosophy. They always wanted to get the smartest and most driven people, and they would do it really aggressively. If one of the Microsoft employees would meet a really smart person, they try to get him to work for Microsoft at any cost. The recruitment was starting sourcing people from the elite top-notch educational facilities like Yale, Harvard, MIT, or Carnegie Mellon, or Stanford. Microsoft recruiters would go on a trip to visit those schools and look for the smartest and most driven students. Experience was not required, and actually it was preferred that the students would have no experience prior to coming to work for Microsoft. Second stage of recruitment was the interviews. If a student was selected, he or she would be put through selection process. Interviews be conducted by at least 3 and sometimes even up to 10 of Microsoft employees. The interviews were designed in the way that student would not be tested just on his knowledge, but more of the thought of the process and work habits and problem-solving abilities. Also, the interview would test the composure of the candidate. Sometimes the candidate would have to answer unexpected questions that we learned in class about also. For example, how many times does the person use the word "the" in a day, or describe the perfect TV remote control? It's the type of questions that makes you think outside the box, and they want their employees to be successful at them. After the interview was conducted, the interviews would email their decisions to the interviewee with one of the 2 sentences, hire or no hire, and the comments on their decision. The future interviewers would then use comments to further investigate what their issues were with the candidate that he did not get hired, or the good qualities they had that did get him hired. The interviewing process was essentially a make or break deal, in which the candidate would be pushed to their limits, and if they did well at it, it means they would survive working in a Microsoft environment. After a series of interviews, the candidate would finally meet with their manager, and the manager would make a final decision on hiring or not hiring the student. Microsoft really stresses the importance of hiring the right people for the company. That is why they have a strategy called N-1, which means there are less people employed than are required. The policy reinforces that hiring the right people is more important than just hiring people just to fill an empty position. Microsoft kept the same basic principles when they expanded, but had to change some of the methods of recruiting when there was not enough of student supply coming from out of colleges to fill the positions in Microsoft. That's when they would go to the people who were laid off of the other companies. For example, AOL decided to downsize, and Microsoft quickly assembled a team to identify the best talent that was fired or laid off of AOL and go get them.